Yeah, go on, something to drink now. Okay, so, if any of you know me, you understand how much I like sausages. For the guys who came to the stag, they appreciate my relationship with meat. So, and even for the vegetarians in the room, I think you don't have to stand up because this is a stupid idea anyway, but let's propose a toast to the sausages, I think. Two sausages, 3 each as well. I thought that was more than generous. Thanks, Rick and Bex. Okay, right. I'll read off these cards now. Yeah, so firstly, I want to say how lovely the bridesmaids look. They've all done a wonderful job today. I also want to say how beautiful Bex looks today. My new sister-in-law. I'm sure you'll agree Bex makes a wonderful bride, and I know how much she means to Richard. It's been great getting to know you, Bex, over the last few years, and I know, you know, well, I've always felt you two are made for each other, so this is my opportunity to say a few things about Rick. I need to warn you from this point onwards that I'm quite an emotional sort of guy. I don't know if anyone watched me whilst Rick was speaking to me in the speech, crying like a man baby. Brace yourself for more of that. I've been known to cry through Billy Elliot, and when I went to the cinema and I saw Finding Nemo, I didn't fare to see how I get on today, but brace yourself for this. Okay, I'm sure you all know Richard, whether he's a friend or his family or that annoying guy that's marrying Bex. I can only talk to you about him as my brother. Which is not really, because my dad being an only child, he always told us how lucky we were to have each other, and I totally agree with him. Me and Rick were really close growing up. We did everything together. We never really considered anything otherwise. We shared pretty much everything as boys. We shared our copies of the Beano, our micro machines, our Lego. We used to share the Ribena and Frosties that Grandma would bring round once a week. Although I was the only one that got fat, so I probably didn't share it that well. Rick used to enjoy saying that he was the bigger brother, but I was the biggest brother. Cheers, Rick. We built dens, we played army, we climbed trees, and we had loads of fun. And although we've grown up into men, which some people may question, that closeness, well, because we're idiots, that closeness will never go away, and I doubt we'll ever stop being childish when we're around each other. This was the point where I was going to hit him in the back of the head, but it's too far away, so I'll do it later. So, Richard is a globe-trotting salesman. He's an overly obsessive F1 fan. He is a quiet DJ, an owner of many digital devices, an occasional idiot, an average golfer, a car enthusiast, a terrible football player, and a really good guy. Okay, so I've got some questions. This is a mountain to climb it. I've got some questions I'd like to ask about Richard, and I'm sure I'm not the only person to wonder such things about my brother. But does Richard have a large bottom? Will Richard ever own an electric car?
No.
What happens to Richard's old mobile phones? At the age of 28, does Richard need his own go-karting helmet? Which comes in its own velour bag. Will Richard ever learn to blow his nose properly? Does Richard know how annoying his whistling is?
It is very annoying.
It is very annoying. You're married into it, Bex, I'm sorry. I'd like to take this opportunity to apologise to Rick for the following incidences. The time I rubbed deep heat into your eyes. The time I grabbed your bottom with some claw pliers. The time I threw a rowing ball at your face. The time I hit you with a pan. And in collaboration with Cousin Dan, the time we catapulted you off a seesaw. Cheers, Dan. If you look at the size of Dan and me, and combine that to Richard, it was quite a velocity we managed to put together. There's also many mistakes we made together. For example, the time we stripped one of Grandad's trees of all its bark with a pair of floor hammers. The time we built a den in a disused coal pit and then made a fire in it. On the many occasions while Mum and Dad were downstairs watching TV, we would spray deodorant on each other's arms and set it on fire. And more recently, though in no way less stupid, the time we drank so much whiskey with Dad last Christmas that he missed dinner the next day. Okay, so my favourite memory of Richard is from Exhibit. I don't know why I'm crying. Stupid. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, come on. You've no idea. I've got so much more to get through. I'm in a lot of trouble here. Okay. For those people that don't know, Exhibit is a huge party that Richard and Adam and Finn and some friends of ours used to put on back in Bentham, in this tiny village. It's in the local WI kind of town hall in a sleepy Yorkshire town, and it became like this underground hardcore kind of dance music club night. So the party was well underway and everyone was dancing and there's loads and loads of people there, and Rick steps up to DJ and he goes quiet, and he borrowed Dad's original copy of the theme tune to Space Odyssey 2001, and the music goes quiet and he lets it play. You know the epic introduction, it's like do, 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 and it's really loud and everyone's like, what's going on? And then he drops in this huge drum and bass tune and everyone goes mental, like 1,000 people just going crazy because we're Rick. So anyway, I know not everyone's into drum and bass, grandmas, but it was a brilliant memory. And the other thing with Rick being a DJ, it meant that I was able to, well, it was very useful in picking up girls, and it was one of Rick's gigs that I managed to lure the beautiful Sammy, even though I was wearing 2 hats. Cheers for that, Rick. Okay, right. So, I'd really like to thank our mum and dad for the most incredible childhood a pair of brothers could ask for. Along with our amazing grandparents, mum and dad raised us. I can hear myself, I can't believe you're all listening. Mum and dad raised us with an incredible amount of love and support. They taught us how to enjoy life and work hard and value family. And I'm really sorry we got Dad so drunk last Christmas. But it wasn't all our fault. Okay, right. There's only one way I can do this, and that's just read this off the card. So we'll give it a bash. Okay. Okay, just have a sit down, thanks.
I think you might calm down.
Right.
Don't kill the whole family.
Okay. Well, yeah. In my opinion, Rick is an incredibly caring person. It's a trait of his that perhaps goes unnoticed sometimes, but he is the guy that you can count on. He always wants to share the good times. and make sure everyone's alright. This isn't going well, is it? Okay. Rick doesn't make a big fuss, but if you've got a problem or if you're in a pickle, he'll help you out. Yeah? I've told him these things before, and perhaps he sees it as over sentimental, but Rick was always there for it. Why did I write this? There's no way Rick was always there for me as a brother. He did everything first, all okay. Get it together. This is too much. This is such a good speech I wrote. I'll put the cards on the flips and later. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the big one. It's the roast. Okay, right, I do mean this is serious, right. I've told him these things before, and perhaps Rick sees it as over sentimental, but he's the guy that was always there for me, and if things got scary, in my nature, I'd cry and I'd freak out and I'd hide, but Rick would just, yeah. But Rick could hold it together, you know. Rick would be the guy that would just get on with things, and I always respected that. I always respected that in him, and I always will. Yeah. Right. So then, I didn't see it going this way. I thought it'd be, you know, nice and breezy. Right. So to commemorate your wedding, Rick and Bex, I bought you a dustbuster. And whenever you're busting dust, I want you to think of me. I haven't got it engraved, but I'd like you to treasure it in the same way I treasure our memories. As the dust of life is busted into the vacuum of eternity, remember to change the bag and keep it charged up. Would you please all join me in a toast to my favourite idiot and my only brother, to Richard. Okay guys, I think after this we're going to cut the cake. Let's cut the cake.